At the time, the Shanker-led United Teachers of New York, UTNY, which was affiliated with the Trade Union Federation AFL-CIO, had locals in New York City, parts of Long Island, Yonkers, and Schenectady. The New York State Teachers Association, NYSTA, led by Tom Hobart, covered most of the rest of the state and was affiliated with the professional-minded National Education Association, the NEA.
Al Shanker and Tom Hobart came together in discussions in Albany at the University Club to discuss how to bring the organizations together, how to meld the professional and the union in order to demonstrate the political strength of unity.
The big issue was AFL-CIO affiliation. And we all said, we weren't gonna do that.
NEA President Catherine Barrett was adamantly opposed to the merger, and especially to the idea that one of her state chapters would join the AFL-CIO. Little did she know that a group of NYSTA officers had already warmed to the idea.
Tony Cortese and Ed Rogers. Ed was the first vice president, Tony was the second vice president. They were very much in favor of it, very much more than I was. I was for merger, but not at any cost. They were saying, yeah, stop the bullshit, I had a communication director, Ned Hopkins, and the newspaper came out, and there was a question and answer with Tom Hobart, in which I justified AFL-CIO affiliation. I didn't know about it beforehand. He did it on his own. So the NEA was very upset with me. I got summoned to Washington, and Charles, who was the chauffeur driver, picked me up at the airport, took me to meet with Catherine Barrett, and Catherine said, just tell me, Ned did this and you didn't have any part of it. Now, I'm president of the organization. I'm not going to say that I didn't have any part of what went on in the organization, right? And I said, no, that's all right. That's the way I feel. So she closed up her folder and walked out. I said, Catherine, is Charles available to take me to the airport? She said, no.
While Tom looked for a ride to the airport, Ned Hopkins was plotting another surprise. This time for NYSTA's annual convention, where a vote on the merger was planned.
Ned Hopkins, he said, call on Paul Cole to make the motion to merge. I said, he's not going to do that. Ned said, yes, he will.
On April 21st, 1972, 127 years after teachers had gathered in central New York to create the first state association, and with the question of merger still unsettled, hundreds of delegates arrived in the Catskills for what would be the most consequential meeting of teachers in New York State history. Among them was Paul Cole, who had kept his plan to formally propose the merger a secret.
I thought I could have more of an impact because it would surprise people. They expect me to be against it because of my closeness to Catherine Barrett.
Cole had managed Barrett's run for the NEA presidency and was seen as a rival to Tom Hobart. After a day of speeches and debates, Hobart, as instructed by Hopkins, called on Cole.
The microphone was in the right rear of the hall. When I moved to the microphone, everybody said, aha, this is Catherine Barrett's former campaign manager, a guy who can get this voted down and defeat a major initiative of Tom Hobart and eventually become the next president of the New York State Teachers Association. I understand why people said that, but I had no doubts that there was a need to unify the teachers in the state.
I hereby move that the convention approve the proposal.
There was a gasp when Paul made the motion because the people that were opposed thought of Paul as their leader.
Convention approved the proposal to merge the New York State Teachers Association and that it be ratified by a vote of the membership.
And thus, NYSUT was born.